from MWASUZEMUTYA. Munzikirize ntumireka kubazalibwa leero nga nsooka naawe Namale Aisha. Greetings coming in from your friend Rashida Nasolo Pewang akwagaliza birungi byerere. So mbalala bazalibwa kuliko Bonnie K, happy birthday my dear, to Terry Teddy, to Justus Katunji, to Isa Muhammad, to you, wow, to you Tamale Medi, to Vitalo Ashraf, to Betty Nachirija, Ndaula Roni, and to Timo Lincoln Royal. Happy birthday to all of you. Mwebale nnyo tubayozaayoza okutuuka ku mazaalibwa gammwe. Olwaleero is another beautiful Monday, a story that is happening or taking place in so many homes. Naye nga abantu bali so afraid to come out and speak. Leero tulina omukyala asazeewo no, enough is enough. She's a diplomat, married to a diplomat who has abused her in all forms, and era agamba it is high time we spoke out as women tujikize n'abalala abali mu mbeera bwe biti, but it is not right what is happening to you. You can come out and seek justice. Nebe kikwatako nammwe, it's a wake up call. So nze Farida Nakazibwe tubaaniriza nnyo, mwebale nnyo okutweyungako. MWASUZEMUTYA. Yes, tukutegeeza nti olwaleero oluzungu lugenda kubeerako lungi kuba omugenyi waffe with her beautiful story, beautiful but sad, sad but beautiful. Agenda kubaakosa nnyo lulimi Lungereza kubanga Oluganda lumutawaanya. Nja kuba mbavvuunulira where necessary. Naye nga mboozi ya Obutabanguko mu maka. She was married for 9 years, myaka 9 mu bufumbo n'abaana baabwe babiri, right? Yes, abaana babiri, naye kyamuyitirirako that she had to get out of the marriage. Emyaka ebiri bukyanga akivaamu byatandika ku psychological, emotional tukyabujjo byetujja twogerako wano ne ba Gloria ne ba Mariam ne bigenda into emotional abuse until it went physical and she couldn't take it. They were based in the United States of America nga ba diplomats. Era Obutabanguko obwo bwayogerwako nnyo to the point the omwami era abaamala ne bamuta n'akomawo mu America ne bamugobayo kind of. Tulina Miriam Otengo with a story of domestic violence. Tukwaniriza nnyo.
MWASUZEMUTYA bannayuganda
basuze bulungi.
Mwebale nnyo byonna mukola. Njagala mbagaliza weekend nnungi.
Ne show ennungi.
Ne show ennungi.
Okay. Nenga gwoli bulungi kati. You look so beautiful. I can't imagine somebody can gather the courage to punch you.
It's the grace of God that has kept me this long.
Okay.
To gather the strength, to put a smile on my face.
True.
Thank you.
And do we even have a choice? We have to keep this smile.
Oh, sure. We have a choice.
Yeah.
And here we are today.
Where did this all start from? Byatandikirawa.
Well, my name is Miriam Otengo. I'm 39 years old, a mother of 4, and I share 2 children with my current husband.
You're not yet divorced?
We haven't divorced. We got married legally, and we have been working in the United States, where I have been supporting him. You know, as a wife to a diplomat, you are equally a diplomat. So we've been in the United States working. In 2016, about May, I started realizing a bit of infidelity, which was hidden. I didn't know it for a long time that we had been together. So when I realized, how did I get to know this? I was seated with my husband, and the phone was just open next to me. The message popped. Honey, how are you doing? It's been a while, you're not talking. So I'm like, oh, what could this be?
You went into panic mode?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who is this, honey?
Yeah. I walked away from his presence and went to the room.
Out of anger? You didn't show anything?
No. I just gently walked away. Then about...
You didn't tell him anything?
No. After a week later, what a coincidence again.
It popped up?
It popped up, asking what was your most favorite moment with me. And it blinked. He wasn't there. So, you know, a locked phone, when you pop up, you can read the message quick before it goes down. So I read that. I'm like, what could this be?
Who is this?
And I tried to hold it. I couldn't hold it anymore. So I asked him, Daddy, what is this? He rubbished me, trashed it, said,
It's
anybody
a
uses
wrong
the word
number.
honey. No. Anybody uses the word honey, sweetheart. It's not just because maybe she's my partner or a sexual partner or something like that. Can be a friend.
Oh, okay, so
Okay. I got
let's see.
calm. I got calm and took it up.
You were convinced.
Yeah.
I know when you
With love, yeah. I got convinced and like I took it up. So in hardly 3 weeks,
It
kids
pops
in
up again.
Uganda were going back to school. I asked his phone. He was tired and sleeping. I didn't have airtime that could call Uganda. I said, Daddy, could you please help me your phone?
So your kids live here?
I had a section of kids in Uganda. Kids from my
Former relationship.
Yeah, my former relationship. So I was given the phone, and as I was trying to make the call, the message popped from the messenger this time round. So I said, okay, it's an opportunity for me
To check
to
who
check
this honey is.
and what kind of relationship it could be. So I went into the messenger and found a series of messages revealing their first meeting and whatsoever happened in their first meeting, how it was so great. And then the subsequent one, she was fantasizing their being together. When I checked the datings, every time my husband would be in Uganda, okay, he leaves America, going home on official duty, he would come and be with them. And I realized that that time he started dodging my family, because a number of times whenever he would travel in the country, his family, not in Kampala, but my family are here. So my older sister who raised me would always send a team to pick him up from the airport, and most of his meals would be made from home. So this time around, he was not going home for the meals. And they would prepare and they would do every sort of things, and then they just hear, oh, it's so unfortunate, I got so busy, I'm on my way going back to the United States.
Wow, without meeting them at all.
What about the things I've packed for them, for the children? I'd say, oh, I'm so sorry. I got a short notice. I have to go. I have a big meeting that I have
So he
to
became
attend."
busy,
He
Jen.
got so busy for my family here. So when I tried to, connect the text messages, and then the period my family started saying, oh, he seems he's so busy. He started going back without carrying a small bag from my family. Now, I found a lot of things that were shocking that were going on.
He was still asleep.
And I'm like, what do I do? I gained courage and woke him up. I said, Daddy, what about this? You told me honey is just not a sexual partner, but can also be a friend. But look at this. Then he covered himself and said, I don't want a nagging woman.
Wow, so now you're nagging.
I don't want a nagging woman. Can't you let me sleep? I said, it's okay.
We'll talk tomorrow when you wake
I
up.
let it go. I entered bed, slept.
Even sleep?
No, not really. Not really. It was so disturbing the whole night. Then the following morning, I asked him, Daddy,
Let's talk about this.
can't we handle this? Then he said, okay, I'll talk about it later. So he went to work. I stayed home because I had a holiday. I was doing cheyo.
Okay.
Yeah, to support myself.
I know.
Because when I think from the time the things started going offhand, his support to me went so
Financially.
low financially. So as a woman, there are quite a number of things I need. So I decided to do a nursing assistant training. I requested for money from him. And at first he didn't want to do it, but later on he gave it to me. So when I did the training, he wasn't able to get for me the work permit so quick. I pushed so hard, then he got it. So on realizing that this is not going like this, things are getting crazy. Now, 2 days down the road, I asked him, Daddy, you told me we'd talk about this. And he told me, some of the things you have to ignore and let go.
This is normal.
That's about July, August of 2016. I let go.
Before that, had you experienced any
Yes.
funny moments?
Slaps and other text messages from other women. And yeah,
But you had ignored
I'd ignored
the previous messages.
because it didn't look so serious. Because you know, when you love somebody, you can be played with psychologically.
Exactly. The exact thing that blinds.
Exactly. I was played with psychologically and believed it. So time came when I could not take this anymore. When I requested him, we talk about it. He was like, he wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
He just started getting aggressive.
Yeah, he went on the defensive.
Exactly. So it went on like that. Time came when...
Did you talk to anybody about it?
I held it to myself for some time. I'm a last born in my family. Breaking that silence would mean walking away from that marriage. So I loved my marriage. And I wanted to live with my husband. None of them would accept me to stay in such a situation. So as an African woman, I love my marriage.
You went silent.
Exactly. I kept silent for so long. So it reached about October of 2016. Things are getting more serious. He would get late night calls.
And he wasn't afraid to speak?
Walk to the master's toilet and sit over there and talk and come back.
For an hour or so?
2. So it was tough. I managed to hold it till in silence and trying to plead with him. So around 2017, April, as a woman, every woman is jealous.
A year later, I think.
I picked, I got, something came to me, get this number. So I got her number and tried to reach out to her. I told her, you're breaking my marriage. I didn't use my phone. I used his phone. Early morning, he was still in bed.
He has no password?
The phone was open. He had just talked to somebody. So I picked it up.
He was
Before
awake.
it locked, so I quickly, yeah, he was awake. Because you know of the time difference. Very early in the morning
When
outside.
you picked it up, he didn't try to fight you?
He didn't know what, because we normally shared. He didn't know what I was up to. So I picked it up before it locked. I logged into the number. I called. And I told her, excuse me, lady. I would like you to know that the man you're playing with has a family. A very young family. The little kids that need happiness in their family. I respect you. I'd already known who she was. I respect you because of your age. You're the same age with the sister who raised me. And I understand you. You're kind of her friend. Please, can you spare my marriage?
How did you know her age?
She worked in an organization where my sister worked.
Oh, so you had already done research.
Oh, yeah. In fact, it was voluntary. The person who got to me is somebody within her circles of work. So when I told her that, she told me, I may leave your husband, but warn him for flattering. If he doesn't stop flirting any other woman, you're bound to get many others. So what's the use?
Let's just share him.
I broke into tears. In his presence, I turned off the phone and broke into tears. I really wept because it sounded so strong. Remember, I had nobody to talk to in a foreign land. And I could not open up to the Ugandan community because it's like I'm taking the things from my house to somebody. And you know...
African culture.
Exactly. I kept it to myself. So, like 2 weeks later, I was still on his case. I said, Daddy, can't you for once stop this? Talk to this lady. Oh, he said, okay. That's what you want? I understand your pain. I'm sorry I did it, but I didn't mean it.
Mean what?
I didn't mean to go with the relationship so long. It's this lady who, you know, seduced me into this relationship. So he picked the phone and called. Oh, hello. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. I want to tell you that I want to keep my marriage. I have a young family. Stay in your marriage and let me stay in my marriage.
So she was married?
She was married. They are all married people playing games. So that phone ended. And about a week later...
Another message popped up?
No. This time round, I had him talk. Oh, it was, I've been trying to ignore your calls. knowing that it was your wife. Because remember, he called to fool me and stop the woman. So, and remember, I had earlier called the woman on the same phone number, so she didn't want to pick the call.
Thinking it's you.
It's me. Then he said, no, I'm the one. I said, yeah, but we can't go gentle, you know. He was in the toilet, and I was just close by. He didn't even lock the door.
You were eavesdropping.
Yeah. So I had it and came back, sat quietly. I gave it a day. Then I said, Daddy, you mean you fooled me the other day? When you talked so well, you have a young family to protect, you need a happy life with your family. Then he told me, where did you find me do anything? I said, it's okay. I kept quiet because it would get so aggressive that you can't take it anymore. And you see his body shaking if you try to ask 2-3 questions. And no, I withdrew. I said, it's okay. So I got myself ready, bathed, and went to work and came back. It intensified a lot of psychological, emotional torture to the extent that he never respected me anymore. He would pick up the phone, walk to the toilet. This lady was such a bad person. She would call 2 in the night.
Yeah, that is disrespectful.
Yeah. So he would...
Where was her husband all this time? I know you don't know.
I think she had a relationship which was like distant. The husband lived in London. She lived in Uganda. So what happened? He would go. It's so shameful to say this, but allow me to say it. Maybe any other woman out there is going through this. My husband would walk to the bathroom. They do their fantasies, their romance and phone. He comes back all ready.
To bed and doesn't touch you.
And no, finish it with me.
Wow.
All triggered by someone else. Finish with you, poor girl. So I would resist, but I wasn't strong enough. To resist this. So I would just take it. I accepted to be a sex toy. I accepted to be a puppet, that somebody aroused his interest and he finishes with me. So it went on till I could not take it anymore. This is now 2017, September, when I told him, you know what?
I'm there.
Give me my passport and I go home.
So apart from that, the cheating, was there anything else happening?
Well, that is the open one I can talk about. But there was one when I got his bare pictures sent to a lady, one of the ladies in the US, and she was living in some state. And they had conversations, a serious conversation. I sent his bare pictures to her. Not exactly bare, but he had a boxer and all this chest. And the lady said she's missing the chest and everything. Those ones were there. And I wouldn't want to rely on rumors. I'm just talking about this because these are things I have proved beyond reasonable doubt. So those others, yes, they were there. They were there. They were there.
I mean, things like support at home.
Well,
things like he doesn't provide.
He would provide for the house, but personal needs.
Your personal needs.
He was so much, you know, we don't earn much. We don't earn much. We have little money that we have to work within. But time came when I got myself to work. I said, okay, I'll take up the home bills, like buying food and whatever you. I did it. I loved it because I was able to contribute in the house. So I happily did it. I ignored other support and I ignored other things because I told him, okay, you make the money for our development back home. I'll do these other things. The government pays the bills, the utilities and what have you. So we put that border there. So
when you asked for your passport to go back home?
When I asked for my passport to go back home, he told me we're all going in December.
He keeps your passport?
Yes.
Why?
I had earlier asked him to let me come home when this started. And he told me, can you give me your passport? I check on your visa status and whatever. So he took it away and he decided to be keeping it in your office.
He didn't want you to go away.
Exactly.
Yeah. He didn't want to keep you.
Exactly. So what happened, he took it and I think kept it in office. So when I asked in September, I said, you know what? I think I have to go and pray. You know, some of these TV programs you watch, somebody goes somewhere, they pray, and then things get fixed. I wasn't running away from my marriage. Then he said, "We all going December." I said, "It's okay." So
you wanted to come to Uganda to pray.
I wanted to come to Uganda, share with my family, and pray about it with the people around me.
You were not running away.
I wasn't running away from my marriage. I wasn't.
Okay.
In fact, I wanted to come and confide in a man of God or a woman of God who would take me through prayers.
Okay.
Like a prayer
Did you
partner.
think about doing it that other side?
I wasn't so used to anybody there, and some of the things they don't understand. Opening up there, they don't have secrets. On issue of abuse, it's not like Uganda where
Would
somebody
actually tell you, let's go to police.
exactly
File a case.
exactly. So that was my fear. We had a church, yes, but how would I tell them this and they hold it to themselves? And remember, I was protecting a job and a marriage. So I said, let me go home. When it failed, I said, okay, let me survive in there.
Okay.
Time came when in the living area, we were very close. We would sit together. Time came when I'm here, he goes there. When I go there, he goes on the other side.
He's trying to avoid you nagging?
Avoiding me.
And reading
like
the text messages?
Avoiding, maybe by coincidence, a text message can pop and then an issue comes in again. I have a feeling that because he would be relaxed in his recline and really smiling. And so I took her up. Then again, I made a phone call again to this lady.
Using his...
This time round in my phone number. This time he had put a password that you can't get there. It locks immediately. So that level of security of the phone means a lot. So what I did, I called her. I said, my dear sister, I'm talking to you as my senior sister. Look at me as your baby sister. And look at my children. They're very young. And she told me, Miriam, talk to your husband, not me.
And she was right.
I lost it. Yes, she was right.
She was right.
I lost it. So I said, it's okay. Now, I said, Miriam, what do you do? Fortunately enough, one of my sisters traveled to the US for work. And her first stop was with us because she had to take for us some food stuff. And still in the fear of, like, I'll lose a marriage. They'll tell me to go home. I talked to him. I said, Daddy, don't you think we need somebody to talk to us, to guide us? I said, no, those issues I'll handle myself. I know how to handle them. I believed him. I believed him.
Because he's a leader.
Yes.
He's supposed to be a leader.
Yes, he's a leader. He's, well, head of family. That's how it's taken in Africa. His head of family is supposed to take up everything by himself. So when he said no, I respected his words and stopped at that. So what happened? The guest went and finished our program.
You never said a word to your sister?
I didn't. But she saw me very sad, and she saw me
distant.
Not the kind of person. I'm so loving, and so open and so free, and you know, I was a little reserved to my own.
So committed.
Exactly. So she says something in me and asked me, is there any problem? I said, Mama, no. I called my sisters Mama, Auntie, because there's a gap between me and them. I said, Mama, no. So you're not okay, and you're not you. I said, no, I'm okay. Maybe something just simple, trying to disorganize
something at work.
And then she said, what exactly? I said, oh, running the, hustles here and there for work. And
in a foreign country.
Then why do
trying
you have
to give
work?
Excuses.
Why do you have to work then? Quit and stay home. You have little babies to take care of.
How old were your babies?
Esther is now 7. I think she was about
5.
And Solomon is now 6. He was 4. And so she told me, why?
Okay, Miriam, let's take a break. We'll continue from right there.
Thank you.
All right, Nina Miriam Otengo, Mukyala yayitamu kutulugunyizibwa awaka byatandikira wala physical abuse at some point, then cheating Negia, and she just couldn't take it. until obufumbo bwe bwafa. They are still legally married naye nga awulira kyamukosa nnyo ate abakyala bangi abayita mu mbeera bwe buti n'asalawo ajje ayogere planninga n'ogenda legally to take on this battle legally naye nga awulira 2 years down the road omutima gwakkakkana ayagala okukyogerako ensi etegeere mbu ebintu bino tetukoma kubyogerako mu mawulire gyebiri ate tebiri ku bantu banaku bokka abaavu abatalina akagamba neeno waggulu abantu gye bali ba presidents, ambassadors, diplomats bona bayita mu bintu bwe batyo. How best can we fight such vices? Tovaawo katuwummulemu katono tukomawo. Wetuli tukyagenda maaso webale nnyo okuba ng'okyali naffe kajambo to everybody watching us online so nga ne ku LTV and Spark TV kwetuli, so you have no excuse agamba nti tewalabye show olwaleero. Ndine Miriam Otengo, oluganda lwe lutono nnyo shikano ni great, but because her story is affecting quite a number of people, especially women, netusalawo katugireete. You will learn manyi mumanyi ku Lungereza. You know, you can at least speak something. Onja kubamba kuonolira. Mucha bali ba diplomats in the United States of America naye omwami nebe omukyala Miriam ne babanga tebakyakwatagana n'omwami because he had an extramarital affair ekyamuyisa obubi because of the commitment, of course, gye yalina n'omwami, which happens. Tutera nnyo okubeera committed, but we get disappointed. Extramarital affairs zibaawo, we all know they happen.
Yeah.
Naye bwekituuka ewuwo, there is a way it shocks you because obeera olowooza being supposed kubeera somewhere else.
That's true.
And they're on the increase. I don't know. So, you refuse to be used as a sex toy.
So,
did you finally travel back in December like you promised?
Not at all. It didn't reach December. When
your sister
being
left?
used at all time, like everything is going wrong and wrong. This time he traveled, and I had a sick child, and I wasn't so much used to the American system that every time I take this baby to the hospital, he has to be on phone with me. I would ask him, our insurance, daddy, the social security number, this kind of thing. So he traveled. I took the baby for review. I tried to make calls to him. He didn't. And, well, most times, whenever he would miss a call with me, he would quickly call back. So I asked him, what is it that you're doing that you don't even respond, not even on a text message? Then he kept quiet until evening. So I made my way to access services through a sister who was there, who fairly knew what to do. Because at a point in time, I asked a sister of mine to go step in for me as I could come back to work in Uganda. I had an office that I had to protect, but this baby was sick. So she stepped in for me. So when I returned, she was supposed to have come back. Now, she stayed around, and she told me, okay, this is what you do. Miriam, let me text it for you. So she texted me the social security number, she texted me the insurance
How come you
number.
didn't know these things offhand?
You know, it is quite difficult to bear all these things. And he never gave me those things, documents in my hand. He's always had them.
But at least the first time you call and he gave you the number, you save it somewhere.
I didn't
to
save
avoid
it anywhere.
such.
But, you know, and like over-dependent, thinking that, you know, it's going to be the usual things every time. And
so you thought he would always be available?
always be there for me. And he had always, whenever I would call or text, Daddy, we are now in the hospital, could you please do this and that? Quickly, he would say, okay, maybe give me to the doctor, maybe give me to this person registering. Then he will take them through everything. Then me, it's just delivering the baby to the hospital. So, till evening. And I complained, because you already have something in your mind, something is going on. And
he's probably with some other woman.
Probably, but it was office hours, but you now see negligence on your side. It wasn't like, maybe he's with a woman at this point in time, because I know he had gone for work, and probably that was morning. Maybe he was in for a meeting. So in the evening, I called, said, didn't you see my phone call during lunch or text message? Could you talk to me? I said, we are not kids anymore to be on like always, honey, how are you? How are you doing? We're not kids anymore.
Grow up.
I'm grown. By the way, I'm making 50. So it's unfortunate that maybe you're still young, but I've grown old. So I'm okay, sorry, Daddy, it's okay. That went on. And the second day, you feel insecure, you feel you're not okay. Maybe now, like when you call like in the night and somebody does not talk to you, there, yes, any other woman would feel it now. So I lost it. I said, okay, he's not talking to me, it's okay. Unfortunately, I called this lady.
Again?
Yeah, I wasn't resting, trying to save a marriage.
That was the third time?
That was not third or fourth. I called her, her phone was busy. I called him, his phone was busy.
You're becoming a
so
spy
I'm
now.
like, okay.
You're
let them
hurting yourself.
I'm hurting myself, really. Stupidly in the name of saving a marriage. So I let go. He calls the following morning.
What were you saying?
Why were you looking for me late night? Don't you think I have to rest? I said, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you had to rest. It's okay. Now he travels back a day after that. He stayed away for about 4 or 5 days. A day after that, he traveled back. When he came back, I was at work. I got him home. And shortly after, he got out of the house. I think he wanted maybe to go and meet some people. Yes, that's his word. Diplomacy is about meeting people, discussing and what have you. I didn't have any problem with it. So he came back. I was aware, but I tried to call him. Are you the one out ringing the bell? He didn't answer.
The bell was ringing? At
So,
the door?
Yes, I made a phone call because you can't just wake up and, normally he would
Was
call me.
that in the night?
Yeah, in the night when he came back about 11. Normally he would call and say, honey, I'm on the way driving. Come out and open for me. So he didn't respond. So I stayed in bed. He came back in bed and not talking.
Because?
Maybe he felt I ignored him, but he didn't pick my call. I didn't know whom I was knocking for. I had to go and open the door for. So
how did he get in?
He opened in his own ways and got in. Told me he got to the backyard and then opened the backyard, through the basement and got up and then came. So after some time now, like about 2 days later, the talking time, he wasn't talking to me. Even if I tried to talk, it's like I became an enemy, Now, 2 days after this, I was at my work, time up for me to come. It was about 2 days also to Thanksgiving of that year. So my employer told me, Miriam, you got to go home early. People are preparing for Thanksgiving.
And you didn't want to go home?
I didn't want to go home because, in fact, workplace was more peaceful than home. So I felt it. I'm like, okay, I'm leaving a bit. So I picked my bag, got my way home. I did want to reach home. I stopped at CVS Pharmacy, started printing pictures of my kids from my phone, taking time. And I picked a McDonald's ad. Then I got a phone call. My stepdaughter. Mommy, where are you? It was about 9. We've been waiting for you at the dining. Could you please come and eat? Oh, what a joy. I felt so loved. And I'm like, okay, just a bit. I'll drive and come home. I stopped the machine, printing my pictures, cleared the bill, drove off. On arrival, it was her, my husband. The little kids had slept. It was already 9. And the older stepson had also slept.
How many kids were there?
I had 4 kids in the house. 2 of my stepchildren and 2 of the kids I have with him, whereas my own were in Uganda. So I arrived at the table. She's like, Mommy, come and eat. Oh, what a joy. But unfortunately,
he wasn't saying a word.
He was quiet, and I sat next to him. And like, Daddy, how was your day? Good. And how's everything? You took a little too long on the way. Where did you pass? Remember, he had put us on a 360 degrees tracker. Everybody in the house.
What is that?
It's a system.
He knows where you are all the time.
Yeah. Even when I pass a shopping center,
He knows.
he will come and say, sometimes, you know, the things are not accurate. There could be like a residential apartment behind the shopping center, and the signal would say, you're there. But when you're at the shopping center, he would say, where have you been? Where are you right now? And he said, oh, I'm at this and this. I'm driving around this area. He said, I can see you at this spot. I said, Daddy, no.
That's common with cheating men.
Yes. So I told him, I know this tracker of yours is bringing us more problem. Maybe I exit.
Exit what?
Being in it, because I had an option of exiting, but I didn't. He would go off sometimes, me and the kids.
So are you using the same tracker to track him?
It is a one thing initiated by, you can initiate and put in other phones, a group, okay? You can initiate, subscribe for it, and then put in the people you want to monitor. Remember, we had the 2 kids, teenage.
You monitor them, they can't monitor you, right?
Even as we would know. But unfortunately, there were times that his would be off.
Of course.
There are times that his would be off. And he said, Daddy, we couldn't trust you. And like,
yeah, I'm safe.
my phone was off. So he couldn't find me. So as time went on, you realize, now, what next?
So that evening, did you eat the food?
I ate. And like, I refused the food because I was full. I took tea. I asked them, I said, is it okay with you guys if I just take tea? Because I picked a McDonald's and ate. Unfortunately, before I finished the tea, I don't know whether fortunate or unfortunate, a phone call from Uganda came from a confidant within the circle of this person.
They were calling you?
She called me. And I walked to receive this call in the bedroom. So when I got into the bedroom, before anything, boom, he came. Not to ask, not to do what? Started blowing my head. You know, I had a sharp instrument, if you can see here. I had a sharp instrument which I was cutting out the pictures. So he just came in and started blowing my heads, you know, with the boxing left, right, tap, 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 tap. I was screaming, Daddy.
Because you walked away to receive a call?
I think that's what rose his anger.
He was suspicious.
I think that's what rose his anger. He wanted to know maybe who talks to me. So when he was hitting my head so hard, I was like, please, don't give me a lifetime damage. Beat me elsewhere. Don't beat my head. Because if you beat my head, you're going to give me a lifetime damage. In the bid of protecting him from getting hurt with the sharp instrument I had myself, and I tried to throw it away so I could keep him safe. I'm sorry.
So it's okay, there's tissue there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay, Miriam.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. You'll be fine.
I thought I'd come over this. And
it never goes away.
So what happened? He hit my head for about 2 minutes, non-stop.
Where were the kids?
The older daughter, when I arrived, she went to her bed. They had eaten, just waiting for me. The little ones had slept. I told you that. So I sneaked. I tried to run away from the boxing, rushed into the bathroom.
Locked yourself up.
I locked. And you know what happened? He just came and pushed the door open. You know, the white man's door does not lock so strong like ours. He just got in and picked me like a paper and threw me into the jacuzzi, pulled out the belt from his waist. The man whipped me.
You couldn't believe it.
I screamed, I cried. But I didn't want to cry to the extent that the kids upstairs would come and witness this horrible situation. I just cried for the pain. I didn't want them to wake up.
It's okay, darling.
I'm so sorry.
I don't want to cry.
Anyone would say He whipped me like a slave.
So that is the very night he whipped you?
No, that was 3 days later.
So it was worse than this?
Oh yeah, my head sunk. I'm so sorry. After whipping me, I had a sister, you remember I told you? A younger one, not the older one, but she's older than me though.
Who?
A sister. I had a sister in the house. So she came upstairs. She was sleeping in the
you cry?
basement. She had funny movements, running up and down. And she came upstairs. So when she got upstairs, she banged the door to our bedroom. So hurt, trying to rescue the situation.
So all this time he was boxing and beating you. What was he saying? Where have you been?
He screamed. He would, like, when he boxed me, I'll kill you. I'll kill you. I'll kill you.
For cheating on me?
I don't know. I don't know. Kill me for what? Kill me for following your girlfriend? Kill me for calling her?
For trying to sabotage his
Yes,
relationship?
maybe. So, when he did that, the young lady came up. She's older than me. She banged the door. He wasn't responding. He was still whipping me. He was still whipping me. You know, I had no means of defense. I just slept in the jacuzzi and covered my head. I just protected my head. So my back got marks. And
I'm sure you still have those scars?
It ain't hard, but like just left colors, you know. The back is, even a dark person, the back is very light because it's always covered. So when the sister banged the door, she turned on the lights and he walked to her, left me still in the jacuzzi, walked to her.
What do you want?
And he just said, I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to kill her. Then he said, can't you respect me? You even tell that in my face? She's my baby sister, for heaven's sake. You tell me that? And I walked towards them. And when I got towards them, he wanted to grab me from my sister. My sister kept me on her back. And she pushed me to the basement. I ran with her. And so I sat there. I felt a lot of pain.
The kids were awake, I assume, at this point.
The older ones woke up, but kept themselves locked in their rooms. So, what happened? My sister told me, let me get you some painkiller. Because I told her I'm feeling pain. She got me some Panadol. The Americans, the Tylenol of America. So I took the Tylenol. When I took the Tylenol, I felt my head is increasing, bigger and bigger. And I told her, you know what?
I need to go see a doctor.
This is me. It's not you. Because she told me, you know what? Getting out at this point in time will cause us a lot of problems.
Getting out of what?
Out of the house, going anywhere. The police will get to know. And you'll cause a lot of problems for the family.
She was asking you to go out?
She was asking me not to go. She was restraining me from getting out of the house. I told her, no, I'm not going to police. I don't want to go to police. I want to go to the hospital. Said, still, it's not good. I told her, look at my head. Look at my head. It's me. It's not you.
Where was he all this time?
He was upstairs. So I refused to hear my sister. I walked upstairs to him. I knelt down.
To say sorry?
No, to plead. I said, Daddy, can you please be kind and take me to the hospital? He looked at me. I repeated, I'm begging you, take me to the hospital. He looked at me and told me, go to bed. If you don't die in the night, I'll take you tomorrow to an African doctor. If you die, the government of Uganda is very much aware I am married. And the cost of repatriating your body home is not on me.
It's on them.
I broke down. I knew maybe he's already seen I'm going to die. Then I realized the reason why most people die. And then they say they fell in the bathroom. Now, I sat quietly asking myself, how do I help myself? I got up, picked the car key. He came and got it away from me and took other car keys. We had 3 cars in the compound. He picked all the car keys and went with him, pulled out my handbag and went away with it. I was helpless. I had no phone. I had nothing. No money, no nothing. My ATM card was in the bag. I had nothing with me. I remained empty. So I felt a spirit deep down me telling me, get out of this place.
Just walk.
Walk. You'll find help. Don't flag any car down. And that's what I did. I sneaked out in the cold. It was winter and it was snowy.
Did you have any warm clothing?
I just had a small sweat. I didn't have anything heavy because it was in the room where he was. I could not go and pick it up. So I walked. The government of Uganda had really gotten us a very beautiful home in a rich neighborhood. I really appreciate that. We had a prestigious home that represented the country so well. So that rich neighborhood, no taxis go there. No bus stops, because it's assumed that they're able to transport themselves. And you know, America is forests. They are preserved.
So it was a long distance for you
to walk? It was, yes, amidst the forests. Walking to find where I could get maybe a bus stop or something. It's now coming to midnight. So I walked. I walked in the cold, almost about a mile. Then a gentleman came. Other cars were passing me by. Nobody was caring. This one asked me, lady, why are you walking in the cold this late night? You're not well dressed. I had a small scarf that covered my head and just had a sweater blouse that I was putting on. And the shoe I had wasn't a warm shoe either. I told him.
You were freezing.
I walked towards him and he asked me, do you need help? I said, yes. He said, can I call police? I said, no, I don't want police. What help do you need? I said, take me to the nearest health facility where I can get medical help. We moved on. But he said, my wife has got to go to work. I just entered the car before we took off. And it's getting late for her. Maybe let me get you an Uber. But unfortunately, he was not able to get any Uber. I don't know whether it was network or anything. He called the wife and said, I got a lady whom I have to help. Is it okay with you to call your workplace and give you more 30 minutes? Because I know driving to the hospital and back will take me 30 minutes. The lady said, it's okay, it's okay. He was Ethiopian man. So he drove me. As we were driving, he asked me, where exactly do you live? I told him, I gave him the house number. Then said, just 4 houses away from my house. I said, okay. Then he said, could your home be a home of, he mentioned the names of my kids. I said, yes. So, oh, I know their auntie who always take them to school. I normally find them walking. Yes, I normally find them walking and pick the kids and take them with me. And your daughter and mine are in the same class. They're great friends. I'm saying, thank you for helping me. So he dropped me at the emergency. From the emergency, they just brought a wheelchair. When I
assume your head was...
It was big.
Getting bigger.
The eyes were in. I couldn't see well.
Did you tell this gentleman what happened?
I didn't open up.
You didn't ask?
He asked me, what happened to you? I didn't open up. That's when he now had to divert the conversation to asking about the kids. So I was wheeled to the reception side in the emergency side to take up my social security number, to take up my insurance card, and to, you know, all those kind of things. I didn't have any of them. I only had the address in my head. So they asked my address. I gave it to them. So they logged on very quick, and then they asked them to wheel me to the doctor's room. So in the doctor's room was a bed. I laid in the bed. They turned me to the bed, and I laid in the bed. And the doctor walked in with the police.
Wow.
Because the emergency security didn't know what exactly happened to me, but it looks like an injury, whether an accident or whatever, anything of the kind, which was suspicious.
You hadn't said a whatsoever.
Exactly. Something suspicious. So he walked in, and
they demanded
the doctor asked, young lady, what happened to you? I said, I had an accident. And the police said, can you guide us to the scene? Because possibly we have to save some people. Or if it's the motor accident, the car could be in a bad position that we have to tow away to save other people. I remained silent for about 10 seconds and said, I apologize.
It's a lie.
I lied.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
All right. Yes, let's take a break. Tuline Miriam Otengo, who suffered domestic violence. Tukoma ututandikire au wenyeni watukomye. Taba. Tichagana mase bozi nina ya Miriam Otengo, who suffered domestic violence at the hands of her husband. Yes, Miriam, so you talk to the police, you finally accept you were abused?
Yeah, I told them I lied. I was abused by my husband. And the police quickly checked into the address that I had given and said, are you diplomats? I said, I'm sorry. Yes, we are. Then he said, ma'am, we can't help you much.
We can't.
We can't help you much.
Why?
He's a diplomat, he's immune. But I'm going to the house. So he left going to the house, and the doctor quickly examined me, and the police took the pictures of the back and everything, and then he walked off to the house to find out, to establish what could have happened. So the doctor called the team to take me for a scan, and I was inserted into the machine. Then they realized the arm that I had was a broken orbital bone.
Was a what?
Broken orbital bone.
Orbital?
Yeah.
Where is the orbital bone?
These bones here. From the side the picture was swollen. So I was brought back and the results came. Then the doctor told me, oh, Miriam, you have the orbital bone broken, and two things. One, you may need a surgery, of which we are going to send you to an eye surgeon. We'll have to do this. And on the assessment, that's what you'll do. Sometimes they may say no, but it seems it may need a surgery. So there I was just given painkillers, and some stories, negative stories circulated that I stayed in the hospital for a number of days. Those are false.
How did this story get out of the hospital to the media?
Of course, I can't tell, because I think maybe through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, much later.
Okay, the government that side communicated to the government this side.
Much later. Because even how you got the information, NTV anchored that news, but it was much later, almost a month after the incident.
Okay.
So the doctor told me what happened and what are the possibilities of any dangers that would come, and he said, we'll refer you. Then the police came back from my residence and said, we were in your house. Your husband is still very angry. We don't guarantee your safety.
He didn't cooperate.
Something of the kind. We don't guarantee your safety, so we recommend you get in touch with the county department of abused persons, because that's where you can get the best help. So they gave me the phone number and precautions and how to know, how keep safety tips on a paper. So about 5 o'clock in the morning, the doctor said, we want to send you out, discharge you, so you can get in touch with the eye surgeon. And where are you going? I said, home.
Weren't you afraid?
Deep down in me, African women, you'll die all.
We'll die all?
Deep down in me, home was the safest place.
Even when police told you?
Yes.
You were still angry?
I had this feeling that on arrival, my husband would be apologetic, he'll be remorseful, and maybe he'll make it up. So I insisted. the doctor told me, okay, how are you going home? I said, I have no transport. And he said, okay, I'll order an Uber for you. So he paid with his own card. And so the Uber took me home with my CD of the broken Obutabanguko, the scan results, and other medical recommendations and, you know, treatment and everything. So I was to go to the pharmacy with my insurance card and get treatment. So I got in the house. When I opened the door,
Mr. was there waiting.
Was in the living area. He told me, you have made me lose my job. I've lost it now. I've lost my job. I'm like, I'm sorry, Daddy. I didn't mean it. He got up. I knelt down and gave him my medical report. I said, this is it. Then he walked to the bedroom. I remained seated in the living area.
Where was your sister?
She was in the basement. And my sister already was so scared.
He had communicated to family back home?
No, she didn't. I am the one who quickly communicated. So what happened? When he walked to the room, I followed him after a few minutes. I knelt down.
To apologize for being
I said, Daddy, I am sorry. But I needed to be sure of my own health and safety. I went to the hospital. I did not go to police. They said, we've lost the job. Get ready to go home. I remained helpless. I asked him, is it okay if you give me my phone so I can call my workplace and alert them I'll not report today? He picked the phone and gave me. I called the lady and told her, can you get a replacement for me? I may not be able to work today. I was taking care of a retired heart surgeon of 93 years old who took me as his own daughter. He loved me so much that he would refuse all other aid if Miriam is not there. So they took me as their own child. So when I reported, she told me, but Miriam, you were just off over the other week and you need an off again? For her to believe me, I took a shot of my face, boom, and sent to her.
That is me now.
And she tried to call me a few minutes. She couldn't find me.
Your phone was off?
He grabbed it, said, your hands that are very perfect in typing will cause you problems one day. So he took away the phone. I remained without any communication. So I told him, Daddy, can you take me to get the medicine? Yeah, I was in pain. I was in pain. So he told me, hold on for our daughter to get ready, and we take her also to school, the older girl. So we went with him and stopped at the pharmacy. He left me there and went to drop our older girl to school. So he came back. I was weak, very weak and helpless. I was lying, just like a destitute, at the veranda of the pharmacy.
You were at his mercy?
Yeah, I was at his mercy, totally at his mercy. Because I was offered shelter and I refused. Why did I refuse? In Uganda, I'm a senior private secretary to the President of the Republic of Uganda, heading the youth desk. How dare me put my government to disrepute going in the shelter? How dare me say my government is not going to protect me? I protected the image of my government. I refused the shelter.
At the risk of losing your life?
Because I was sure my government would take care of me.
You were sure?
I was very sure.
Did you even inform it about it?
I had no means of communication.
So how sure are you?
I was like, if I get means, I'll communicate.
Ladies from the north are known to be stronger than we are in the central.
Yeah.
I'm wondering how all this happened to you.
Physically, my husband is tall. He's a trained soldier.
Wow.
He served in the police force and in the army.
He's older than you.
Yeah, 10, 11 years older than me. So there was no way Miriam would try to maybe box back. Oh, there was no way Miriam could try to do a thing.
Then if he didn't box back, you run away.
I tried.
Run away.
The best place I could, nearest, because the main door was closed. Our bedroom door was closed. The nearest safety place, I remember I told you, I ran to the bathroom. And it ended being my graveyard almost. So I refused the shelter. And lying, waiting for him to come and pick me up. So when I sensed that things are not very friendly, I told him, Daddy, I want to call. Can you help me your phone? He told me, bring the number. I call.
Who are you going to call?
I had the police, the counseling center where they told me, you got to go for counseling so that you can know the best options for you right now. So that was the contract. It was a counseling place, the American government place at the county headquarters.
And there's no way he was going to let you do that.
So I had to ask him to make a call because he refused to give me the phone. Then he said, I'm going to call for you. And he put it on loud. So, hello, who's this? This is Miriam Mutango. Oh, we are on alarm. We're expecting you. Are you an engineer? Do you have any means of transport? I said, yes. My husband is bringing me. I said, okay. He said, I also need help.
Who?
He talked in the background. I also need help. So they said, okay, you're all welcome.
Okay.
So on arrival at the county headquarters, abused person's office, he was taken to the side where they counsel the perpetrators, the abusers. And I was taken to the survivor's side. And I found a very nice lady who took me through signs and symptoms, or indicators of abuse, and asked step by step. I was seeing my life, how I neglected myself getting into danger. I want people to know that these things is not just, it's not a surprise to be abused. It's gradual. It doesn't come from all over and like you're abused. They are indicators. Today somebody spits on your face. Tomorrow somebody makes you feel useless. You lose the sense of worth. You don't deserve to be my wife. That kind of thing. So a number of us ignore these things coming our way. Somebody
cut the wife's clothes. I don't like you to dress like this.
Exactly. Things
just cut them with scissors.
Yes. You think it's love. I don't know how we interpret the word love. So I ignored it. So when I got there, I saw they're taking me through, and to where it escalated, I just said, oh, I was so stupid.
So I've been abused all this time.
This wouldn't have happened.
At what stage in your marriage did it start?
It was just about 3 years down the marriage when it started.
With small things like?
With small little things like,
backing at you?
You do something and somebody tells you, that's not how it's meant to be. You're not smart enough. And nobody cares whether it's rebuking you in the presence of others. Okay? So it started slowly and trying to make you a nobody.
To lose your self-esteem.
And
when you feel worthless, you can give into anything.
My mother is a British trained teacher. And she normally said that the greatest thing a parent can ever give to a child is self-esteem. She raised us single-handedly as a widow, but she really made you believe that, yes, you can. You can make it. And to me, in my family, they always tell me, when you're signed, Miriam, I expect positivity.
And you never took those lessons.
But towards the end of this marriage, I just started demeaning in everything. In fact, if somebody would interact with my supervisor where I used to work, even my performance started deteriorating. I wasn't delivering anymore. Because you are assigned something which is expected to be done in a day or two, you take a whole week. And that's not the Miriam, the person now. So I believed in that. So when she took me through, I saw it. I said, okay, I ignored this. It was coming my way. Now, after the counseling, I moved out. They gave me a place I was supposed to be housed. And where possible, they were supposed to house me with my children. You remember I told you the image I'm trying to give, which I still believe.
You still refuse.
My government is there to help me work out, to see that we end GBV. So I believe in it. I still believe in it. Only that maybe they haven't known my ordeal. It's today that I want them to know. So what happened? I got out of the counseling room.
You looked for your husband?
Of course. And
so much love will kill you.
He came. Indeed. Indeed. You've said it.
Yeah. And it will kill many of us.
And let them hear. By the time somebody you think you love makes you feel like nobody, don't think they love you. He's just accommodating you.
And you're loving them is no guarantee they'll love you.
You're loving them shows them you're a fool and you have nowhere to go.
Exactly.
They expect you. You know, women, you got to learn this. Don't expect a man to come in your face and say, I don't need you in my house.
They'll just they'll act.
They will send you out smartly. If you're smart, yes, you'll save yourself and walk away. If you're not smart, you insist, you end up in the grave. And I don't want it to happen to anybody. So I joined him. And the first gesture was very beautiful. He told me, honey, can I take you for lunch?
And you're like,
I said, it's
all
okay.
the wounds had healed.
I said, it's okay. We crossed the road.
Hand in hand.
But at the lunch table,
he still abused you.
Was where I realized an abuser will always be. He started talking about the job he's lost because of my stupid reaction. That's not the way a woman should behave. You think women out there are not suffering? You think men are not sleeping with women? Is it only you, man? Look at your stupid way. Ah, okay. I was told an abuser will always be an abuser. So I told him, Daddy, is it okay if you drop me at my workplace?
In your state?
Yes. I knew that was my safe havens now. Because the old man had his apartment with 2 bedrooms, where even on the other side I had where I would rest when he's resting. And the family took us as their family. They knew my husband, they knew my kids. They would hold small parties for my kids. So I was part of them. I was like their child. And the lady who was employing me was a daughter to the man I was taking care of. Got to know about my sister. So she wanted to be a family to us. So even she would communicate with my sister. And yeah. So I said, can you take me there? He said, it's okay. He first kept quiet. Is that where you want to go? I said, yes. He took me there. When I got there, he left me at the parking in the basement. He proceeded wherever, I don't know. That was right about 2, 3. So, remember, I didn't have a phone. I got there. The old doctor didn't have a very good sight, but heard my voice, and the daughter already told him.
She won't be coming in.
He came and touched me and started crying and praying in Hebrew, praying for me, and with all tears rolling over my head. He, you know, the Jewish don't pray when they are like not covered. He got a covering thing and held me because they believe that covering is being under the protection of the Lord. He cried with all tears of me. Who can do this kind of thing to somebody's child? So after his prayer, he asked me whether I had gotten treatment. I said, I have my medicines here. He was old, but because he was sound in mind, they had still left him with the powers of prescribing medicines. You know, he still prescribed medicine. So he asked me, he was legally blind. So I read the medicines that I had. Then he said, I think we need this other one to help reduce the puffiness. So he called the doctor. The doctor came, picked the prescription from him, and went and got this medicine. So that was now about 5 in the evening when the daughter came after her work. So she took me with her to her residence. I was so weak. I think emotionally, physically, the pain was too much. I was so weak. The back could not lie because it was full of weights.
How did you even manage to sit at the restaurant with so much pain?
Oh, with a lot of pain.
With a swollen
and tears
face?
rolling. Face, you know, I told you I had a scarf, so I tried to scarf a
cover.
little bit. And if you see a woman who's maybe not used to veiling, today's veiling, don't ask so many questions. Maybe she was abused last night. And if you see a woman putting on goggles, some people question a lot. You know,
she's covering up something.
The eyes are red, you know, the bruises and everything. They're covering something. That's what I came to realize. You remember you have to go to work, but you got to cover some shame. So she took me to her residence. She nursed me for 2 weeks. Every week she was taking me for the eye review. Remember, my eye got so glary that I could not see. I was not able to write.
Then remember, the doctor recommended an eye surgery?
Yes, she took me. And when she took me the first week, she took me 2 days when I was at her residence because she had to pay by herself, get insurance for me, a coverage. So because she knew if it's a surgery, hand-on paying is very expensive. So she had to think of getting a coverage for me.
What happened to your cover?
I don't have access to it.
Mr. is mad.
I have no access.
You can't access it.
Yeah. So she took me and they said, yes, that breakage is not small, it's big. And there's a depression on the other side. Now, if we carry on this surgery, she'll have a deformed face.
And I can imagine. Hearing of that.
But there's a possibility of her healing and the bone will grow, get fixed. There could be, you know, not smooth, but her face will have remained beautiful.
You opted for that.
When they told her that time now she was like my elder sister. I had already given her all my power of attorney to decide for me. She said, Miriam, let's give it time. You will heal.
Okay.
Yeah. So we now just ended up treating the pain, treating this and that. So 2 weeks down the road, I expressed interest of going back to my home. And she told me, are you sure you're safe? I said, his anger could have gone down.
So you still wanted to go back?
Yes, my kids are there. My sister's there. My kids are there. Now, she told me, is it okay if I talk to him? I said, yes. She took a role of a big sister. She asked him, and he gave them a place to meet. My sister there, the lady who was hosting me, met him with her husband.
You were not in that meeting?
No, I didn't go. She said, let's go without you, talk to him, and then we can let you go home. They were very positive, like, let's go do a counseling and guidance with him here and there. So, his reaction, you know, an African man would not want to be talked over by a lady.
The ego won't let them.
So, he expressed it to the lady, and the lady felt, okay, I'm a woman, I can't talk to him. He's a diplomat, I'm not. So, she came back to me and said, I still see the anger, but for the children, if you insist, I'll let you go. But
be careful.
I want you to continue with counseling, and where possible, invite him. So this is now a private counseling session she had organized for me. She was paying for it. Now he accepted to meet the counselor. When I had already gone home, we went to the counselor, and he appeared once, and the emotions were too much, and the counselor said, I think you two are not ready to sit together yet. Maybe I handle one at a time till you feel you can come together. Because he blew up and talked and condemned me, blamed me, made me, you know. And the lady told us, I think we cannot yet handle two of you at a go. So that ended. We went back home, and he asked me to go and meet the ambassador with him. We met the ambassador, who was a father, who said, Paul, I wish you shared this.
So what was his role at the embassy?
He was a minister counselor, always third in rank, because there is always head of mission. Then there's a head, then him. So the old and senior Ugandan, who was the ambassador, said, why wouldn't you share this with us earlier? Dixon, this was not right.
Who is Dixon? Him?
My husband.
Oh.
So he talked to us like a father. And that was the day they had already received a letter from the State Department asking them, asking the government of Uganda to either withdraw, revoke the immunity so they could try him for the abuse, which is a criminal offense, or recall him and apprehend him from home. The government of Uganda, not wanting to shame their officer, yes, they protected well, and
they recalled him.
They recalled him.
Wow, I can imagine what you had to go through with the recording.
Oh yes, the recalling was, now we've lost it all.
Yeah, let's take a break.
Thank you.
From there, tukomyewo n'ekitundu kyaffe ekisembayo. Miriam Otengo, who suffered domestic violence. Kutuyina olwali tukomyewo n'ekitundu ekisembayo. Mutusonyiwa Olungereza luyitiridde. It was the only means of communication she can handle. Tabao. Yangu yeko emboozi ya Miriam tusobole okujumalayo mpanvu naye at least tugituukeko ewasaanidde. Yes, Miriam. So he is recalled, and he immediately packs and goes.
Well, immediately when we were recalled, he called me to the room and told me, you know, I'd already got back home. I was already in the house, and he told me, I want you to write a letter
to
the State Department,
requesting
them to give us more time. I said, it's okay to prepare the children, because they were in school, and to have them oriented.
The State Department, department wanted you out immediately?
They gave us 3 days. That's 72 hours? Yeah, 3 days. So he talked to me, and I said, it's okay. He drafted a letter. In the letter, Miriam was drunk. I was born and raised in a strong Christian family. Alcohol has not been part of my thing. Yes, I would say diplomatically I would take like a glass of wine. Like sitting down and really drinking at a party or whatever has not been part of me. I wouldn't say I get drunk. So he wanted it to be, Miriam was drunk, she fell from the stairs. And I took it. What the law would say under duress. And I'm like, but what would this do? Again, the next minute, he took me to the church and said, don't say anything. Just say, this was the accident. He told the pastor of our church like that. And the pastor had to write a letter to State Department saying, these are very good Christians. We know them of holding high values of Christian values and respecting each other and what have you. The pastor wrote to the State Department. And I was shut not to speak. I've always been bored into silence. So what happened, the letter, which wanted my signature to be appended on, he took me to some lawyer friends of his.
Fake lawyer?
To a law firm. No, they're real lawyers and reputable lawyers in America. So I think the owner of the law firm was his good friend, and older, quite elderly. He said, Mr. Gwang, I would like you to give me time with Miriam. He told me, I want you to read this letter Open up with me. Tell me the truth. I am your husband's friend. I am your friend, but I want the best for all of you. He asked me after I had read the letter, line by line, were you drunk?
No, I wasn't.
Did you do A, B, C, D, all the things that were written there? I said,
yes.
I didn't.
Oh.
I
was
didn't.
also going to be mad.
I didn't.
Okay.
He asked me to be free with him. And he was his friend, not my friend. He said, I don't want you to do something that you'll regret for the rest of your life. You may want to stay around and keep your children and have them finish school, but you don't know what the future holds. I don't want you
to make mistakes.
Yes. I said, thank you. I cried. I said, thank you for saving me.
What did the pastor say when he came up with that story?
The pastor didn't know the truth. He was, you know, he never got to know the truth. He just said, we had this small incident and it wasn't intended, and my hand hit Miriam. So when she went to access medical care, it was termed as abuse. Now it has brought up to this. So the pastor, believing in us,
he gave the same story.
Yeah, they made him to make that mistake.
Okay.
So when the old man said that, he said, we are going to rewrite the letter, which supports you now and for the rest of your life. So he wrote a letter, said, we know you have 2 children who have been undergoing medical care here, the older girl and the baby. We can use the medical, grounds that let's get the team in Uganda, let's get in touch with the team in Uganda who can treat these children before they can go, when you're sure that you have the doctors ready to handle their case. And then the second one, it is very clear that you can't pick the children in the middle of school. Let them finish the term and you travel. Yes, I signed for that. It was submitted through the embassy. It was honored and they gave us 1 month, which was good. It was so good. They were so considerate.
And so, how many months did he want? Mr. Man?
I think he requested 6 months.
Okay.
But the term was ending as we're approaching Christmas in December, so they would break off, which was good enough. So the kids studied up to the last time. So when he got home, he would, okay, this is it. This is how we're going to live, lamenting here and there. So at this point in time, I had already talked to my family and already had a phone. So, and they said, come home. Are we ready to receive you? You will get back to your work.
Was she still calling her friend, mistress?
They talked. They continuously talked, but in hiding. I got to know on our arrival in the country was the first call that he received.
Was from her?
Was from her. Then the second one was from my brother. The third one was from his brother. And I want to thank his brother so much. He wishes me well. He's a kind man. He's kept himself off all these because he knows
the kind of brother he has.
Yes.
Okay.
And so we got back in the country. He has 1 sister who did not know that out of the people who were out waiting for some people to arrive, one of my sisters was in, because she's not interacted so much with my family. She didn't know. She called me a dog. Where did Dick pick this dog? Was brought him to shame. And yes.
So at what stage did she call your dog?
When we had just arrived, and my sister was at the VIP department.
He told them you made him lose his job.
She was making a comment on phone to the family that they have already arrived, but I think they're still in the VIP because she could not access. And this other sister of mine, she's my mother's 3rd daughter, was outside trying to, watch the media and trying to think.
So the media was expecting you guys?
I imagine she didn't want them to know. She wanted to stealthily take us off and leave the airport without them knowing, which it happened. So she called me a dog, not knowing my sister said, really?
You need to get out of this family.
Yeah, she's like, okay, let's go home. So she went and greeted her brother-in-law, my husband, and joined together the 2 families. The brother who was who understands who his brother is, and a friend who is a police officer who really opted for peace, all joined, and we drove straight to my older sister's house, the sister who raised me. So when we got in her house, she prayed with us, and my husband said, I'm going with my wife. Africans, you're going to die. Yeah, you don't have the sense. I still loved my husband. I loved my marriage. I went with him.
You loved your marriage, you didn't love your husband?
I loved my husband, I loved my marriage. So we went, where? To a hotel. Because our house was in a, like, almost getting done. So it would not, like, hold us in. It wasn't habitable at the moment. Yeah. Okay. So we got into this hotel.
Had he lost his job? He was okay
to go? No, he had not lost a job. He has not lost a job. He's still with Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
So we got into the hotel and we slept. Yes. He started crying how I've made him lose a job. Where is he going to start from? And told me, tomorrow I want us to go to my parents. But I had already had the negative comments and what have you. I was scared and worried.
So you didn't go?
I told him, no, I'm not going. I need more time with my family before I can reintegrate with your family. So remember, he's already so much into the relationship. During the day, I would leave the place where I was sleeping, come home to my family, check on my kids, all our children, both my step and whatever, will be taken care of by my family. Then after there, I come to my workplace, then go back home, stay with the kids, then go to sleep. But things were not okay. Issues of, you made me lose a job. I am now going to become a pauper. I am this and that and that. And then I would get into the hotel, and then he comes back very late. Sometimes he's top up and drunk and talking a lot of things, and with a woman in phone. And not until this other day, when he told me very early in the morning, I wanted to go to the site and supervise the building. So remember, the little savings that I had, I used to put the kids to school.
Your kids back home?
No.
Them?
Even our dependents that were home here. We had his brother's kids, and I had my foster daughter. I told you of a daughter whom I foster, whom I got when she was in the camp, and took her to my residence. I was still a young woman, partially living with my mom and my small home. So I took her. So I had to pay her fees, and then the two other dependents who were his daughters, they were all in Wanyange, 3 kids. So I paid those ones, and then I told him, the 2 we share with you, you can pay. And
so you didn't have any savings left?
I just had little money, and I'm like, okay, let me keep this to keep me going. Fuel my car to work, this and that. So I would see ourselves going down financially. Then when I was at the site, one of the boys at the site was his relative who asked me, Miriam, why would Dixon buy a car at this particular point in time, and yet you have this other car to use? I told him innocently, I said, he's got Indian friends who could have given him the car to use as we wait for our cars to come. Because we had shipped a car. We shipped only 1 car. So this, I don't know what motive this kid asked me. And so it turned it to him that she's saying, you're nothing, you don't have any money, even the car you're driving, you're just given. It turned to be very negative, and yet I talked it positively. So he reacted so bad about that one.
You went and told him about it?
No, this boy called right away. I talked innocently, but it was turned to be a bad thing. Maybe they had asked him, you find out what this woman is, you know. So when I came back after supervising the site, it was a public holiday, Janan Luom's Day, a day after Valentine's Day. So he told me, today you're going to, if you don't leave this place, you'll see me.
Which place? The hotel?
Now it's our home. He called my cousin, he called my brother. My brother was full of him, he didn't want to hear. He called my cousin brother said...
He wanted you to leave?
He didn't say you leave, he just started saying, what's crazy with you? You're not saying I'm useless. I don't have money. I'm borrowing cars. I'm doing what? I said, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. So I insisted to stay. He locked me out and went to drink. It was about 11 when he left. And driving from that side of Gayaza through that small road going to Chira is not a very safe place. It's dark. As a lady, I could not drive beyond 11. I stayed in the car. I waited for him to come back. He had already gone for the public holiday.
Would you ask for extra keys at the reception?
I tried. He wasn't there. I tried. He had all the keys with him. So I slept in the car. And I don't know whether that's the owner of this hotel or just a worker who is sympathetic. Passed by around 3. I had some light in the car and came and said, you, what are you doing in the car? I said, I've been locked. She told me, you girl, don't you have your family? I said, Mom, I do.
So what are you doing?
Don't you have your home? I said, I do. Because they already knew what had happened. And said, tomorrow I don't want to see you here. Go to your home. You know, as a mother, she talked out and told me, come, I'm going to give you a room. Don't mind paying for it. Just sleep. Tomorrow I want you to go to your home. I said, it's okay, Mom. It's okay. So I slept there. And
he came back. You picked your things and left.
Yes. So
he watched you pick your things.
I didn't pick anything. I went to knock the door. He didn't respond to me. He just told me, get out of my window, because I was knocking through the window. So I just got in my car.
So what did you want?
I wanted
to tell him I'm leaving.
I wanted to talk to him.
You longed for him. Okay.
I can't tell the feeling. So when I sensed that, I just decided to drive about 6 home. And when I drove home, I stayed home with even my stepkids for about 3 more months. And that's where we are up to now. And
you have never gone back to him. That was the end.
I never went back because he never showed like he wanted me back. He tried it once. He moved. My mom lives in Lira. My aunt lives around. And he went to my auntie with me that he wanted to talk to her. And so my aunt said, what is it that I want my wife back? And then I said, but he's taking me back, and yet he has this woman now with whom he's living. Because he lives.
The woman moved in?
No, she didn't move in our house. He moved away from our house to the woman's house.
Okay.
That's where most of his time is. He visits the kids, my stepkids who are in our house. So, my mom asked that, what are you trying to say, Miriam? I said, yes, he has moved on. Maybe you can ask him if he can stop
the other relationship.
Then he said, the face of my auntie.
No, I won't.
No, he said, she has lent me a shoulder to lean on for all this while. It's not that easy. I can't promise that. So my aunt said, you're not yet committed to take your wife. I don't want all my children. I don't want to see you die. So let her live her life. You live your life. By the time you feel you're calm and you're ready to take back your wife, you come. And you will have resolved with a marriage. Because when you started a marriage, you agreed to a one man, one woman, one woman, one man. And I believe that's what she is up to. So he got out of there, and since then...
So to cut the long story short,
yes,
you left the marriage that you so dearly loved.
Yes, I had to.
2 years
But
now?
stupidly, after walking away like that, he would still call me, how are you doing? I wanted to talk to you. I would still go. Stupid girl.
You made somewhere for lunch?
Yes. and things seem not to be working well. And so
with the other
one
woman,
day,
or with you?
with me, one day last year in April, on my son's birthday, he called me and said, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm in Mukono." "With whom are you and what are you doing there?" I said, "I'm with my sister. I've driven one of my young sisters. She's a nurse. I've driven her to a workshop and I'm bringing her back." "Okay, could you please join me and bring Solomon for a birthday cake we cut together?" I said, "Okay, we even had one for him," but he said, "I want to cut with him." Yes, he's got to have access to his children. So I said, "It's okay, we're coming." So we hurriedly left. We arrived about 5. The kids were from school. My niece picked the kid from school. We met at Quality Shopping Center at a place where we're supposed to cut the cake. So that time, my heart had not yet let go of the marriage. I still had this hope that
it will work out.
Yeah, let's give each other time, like my mom said. Give it time. Ignore each other, give it time. All of you. Huh? So I went, and I felt so disrespectful when this woman was overcalling. My husband is with me, with the children, and I said, why? Why would she disrespect me like this? If this is the kind of thing, then stop calling me. You're like trying to torture me. So I tried to grab the phone. So when I tried to grab the phone, it slipped off my hand and fell. I ran away. I saw something stupid about to happen. He wanted to slap me. I ran away. So when I ran away, he tried to run after me. Unfortunately, he fell.
That place is usually busy.
Yes.
The place.
Yeah, oh, yes.
Quality in area.
Yes. Yes.
At
this
the
lower bar.
water park.
Yeah, down there. So
it's a busy
ran,
place.
yes.
Imagining you two running around.
Yeah, we had about people group seated. So he fell off. So when he fell off, I think the anger of falling. Me, I continued running. I didn't want to come back. So he got in the car, drove after me, and I don't know whether he was insane or what. He wanted to crush me. And my kids came screaming. And the smartest thing that saved me, jump over the pavers. I did that. And that was how I saved myself in a whisker. I believe he could have even driven over me. So my son, Mom, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. I don't want to see this. So up to now, when you ask that little boy.
Is he 7 now?
He is now 6. Solomon, this place, that was the day I wasn't there. Somebody was picking them from school. He said, I hate this place. I don't want to remember what happened here. So to cut the short story short, the long story short, after 2 years down the road, I found it necessary to cut the phone intimidation. No. The phone intimidation, calls, texts.
So what is the intimidation about? Why did you leave me? Why did I lose my job?
No.
Because of you?
If maybe he hears Miriam has done this, or I've talked to somebody.
He doesn't want you to speak out about what happened.
Now, the most sad bit of it is one. There was a day I asked my nephew, please go to lawyer so-and-so. It's an advocacy kind of NGO, and seek for his help and guide us on what to do. The man sent text messages promising that there is nowhere we can handle him. We cannot put him to jail. The lawyer broke confidentiality. I think they were friends, or they are friends. So instead, maybe if he was a good person, he was going to call us to a table of talk, but he made it to be used as a tool to fight me and bring me down more. So I got insults, I got threats, I got what on a text message. Oh, it's all evident. I think some of them we had shared with her. And then, after that, I remained helpless again in thoughts, what am I going to do?
What did you want the lawyer to do?
I wanted to the legal guidance so that I can start a way of getting my justice as per the Criminal Act. I know pretty well that Foreign Affairs as a ministry does not have any tribunal that can try for a criminal offense. They have a disciplinary, which whether or not they handled him, I don't know, because I was not part to it. I've not got any invitation to that, and I wasn't their staff. So they had to handle their staff. Probably they already sat in that, but the criminal bit of it, where they do not have the judicial powers of handling, was left hanging.
Okay.
And I had to.
So what did the lawyer say?
So the lawyer talked so nicely, and immediately after called this gentleman and talked with him and said, you know what, these people are up to this. He sent the first message. Are you ready for that? Do you think there is anywhere you'll take me? You can't put me behind bars. Then he called me. He said, I am known. While I was in Washington, I hosted a number of judges. Do you think they can put me behind bars? I served in the judiciary as a state prosecutor. I am known. So I got bogged.
You have no place to run to.
I got bogged. I went back down in tears. Now, I came up on about 2 Sundays ago, the other Sunday. I was thinking, before I go there, I would love to thank the President of the Republic of Uganda, who endeavored to reach me
After
on
the
phone.
story
Yes,
went out.
when we arrived in the country. He reached out, and as a leader, as a father, talked to me, guided me, counseled me, and said it's okay. So I must thank him for being a father indeed to the nation. Because if you could think of me and me, really, I must thank him. So he really took the role of a father that moment and talked to me, and that shows the government's commitment.
Did he tell you to take the legal bit of it, or just let things go?
It was still hot.
For your own peace?
It was still hot, like any other person, any other father, any other leader. That time knew you were still emotional. All you needed to heal. You still needed to have people around you to heal, so that at a right point in time, you can take your own decisions by yourself. None of my family has ever told me, take this route, take that. Everybody has been just giving me a shoulder to fall on, holding me to stand firm, and to hold my head high and be the Miriam who has always been. So nobody has ever come to me and said, even my lawyer, this young woman, she used to work for FIDA, but now in a different organization altogether. She told me, Miriam, I don't want you to go into legal battles right now. You are not yet emotionally strong. I know what it brings. I want you to heal. When you feel you're healed, that's when you will express interest.
Have you healed? Not yet.
2 years down the road, I feel I'm in a strong state, a good state of mind. I can stand my ground now and go for what I want, which is justice. And it is so saddening that when that Sunday I posted, I don't know if I shared with a number of people my post. My post was clearly stating that I am a survivor of gender-based violence. It is 2 years down the road. I need support. My abuser is still tormenting me. My abuser is threatening me. I need justice. Then I put out a placard. I need help. Whom was I appealing to? I was appealing to maybe lawyers who would come in and give me free services. I was appealing to activists who would come and give me support.
Did you receive any?
Oh yes, my inbox is full. I must thank them. I want to thank them so much. That was it. That was it. So unfortunately, perpetrators and their promoters turned my call of justice into a different fight. They changed the topic altogether. From, is it the British, I am under the British refused to give me visa to go to the UK. I am tagging it on, this was raised by one, I would say a mall, called Hanistro on Twitter. I think he's from the media fraternity. So
Did you try to relocate to UK?
No, not relocating. The government of Uganda was sending me to go and work at the embassy in UK. And as I earlier told you, that I have 2 sets of children. As a young girl, I got 2 kids in a marriage. I wasn't officially married. I got a young man from school, and like we lived together, but then it's infidelity, and like I'm saying, okay, smartly, we are friends. I walked out of that relationship.
Then you got into this marriage.
So down the road, I got married. So they wrote back to me. They did not refuse to give me the visa. They just said, we want you to clarify the issue of parentage.
Okay.
So
you failed to clarify.
And I haven't talked to anybody, but 2 days before I got that letter, my husband sent me a text. We will meet at Her Majesty's government.
Wow.
So now from their tweets, if I recollect all this, I said, probably they did something, probably, but I hadn't talked about it anywhere. It was just done to quash the real point, to take people away from the real point, from the domestic violence.
Okay.
So, and I am here, I'm just, I know the British government is a very autonomous country. It does not act on any kind of advice from, maybe if it was the government writing to them.
Okay, so there's chance for you to go?
Quite well, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Depending on clarifying a few of these things.
We're running out of time. We've actually run out of time already. What do you pick from all this as a woman?
Maybe before I get there, I wanted to say that it's indeed regrettable to my social networks on Twitter, whom I have engaged in a number of conversations. I have been a great promoter of Uganda's tourism. And a number of people from the diplomatic corps who really have passion to promote Uganda's tourism have always followed me. So it is so unfortunate that they have been exposed to ridicule by the perpetrators and their promoters, that to the extent that...
I think we can just ignore those, because those will always...
No, they've attacked them. Because I saw where one of head of missions in this country was tagged as being somebody supporting me, giving me the zeal to move. But it is me. It is me. So what do we learn from this? This fight is not mine. I may lose it. I may lose even a job with government, because there are some communications I'm getting here and there. But I am not fighting for Miriam now. I am fighting for the women in the corporate world.
For the young girls out there.
The women in the corporate world are suffering more than an ordinary woman. Why? This woman values her job. It feeds her. It feeds her children. It supports the people around them. So if you come out and speak like Miriam, what's the fate of your job? I've already got a lot of them inboxing me, saying, Miriam, thank you for coming out. We are dying.
What is stopping us from speaking out?
This is what I'm saying. The fear for the jobs that they're holding.
Fear for the ridicule.
The ridicule
comes along.
And you remember some of them, maybe even CEOs of companies. And then tomorrow you're in, appearing, something like that. Yes.
Saying,
what will the company say?
She's not an African woman. She's not a
well
well brought out woman.
And then, really, our culture. Because I remember my husband told me, my grandmother had her ribs broken 3 times.
And she never
Did
spoke
she
out.
report it anywhere?
Miriam, let's get out of here.
So,
such statements really leave me dumbfounded. But yes, where we begins already, if you're kuno embozze tufuna from different people, teziba ndowooza zaffe zibeera mu mboozi zaabwe, teziba ndowooza zaffe as NTV or Nation Media Group, but tubawa chance to speak out ku ebyo ebibakosa. Emboozi ya Miriam ebadde mu Lungereza, but it is happening in so many homes, and I am thinking, can we please learn to protect ourselves first? Miriam thought she was in love, and see where she ended up. She lost the marriage, and somehow her self-esteem is just trying to come back. So tuwefeyo nnyo kufe, love us, love yourself more than you're going to love somebody else who may not love you as much as you want. We'll see you again tomorrow. God bless you. Bye-bye.